Hello, Melton Guy here again with another podcast. Hope you're having a great day. I want to talk about a general subject. I'll prance around other things, but it's generally about one thing. But I wanted to lead off by saying that, the source of where you hear things, maybe not the source, but the ability of the person talking about a subject that really understands that subject or does not understand that subject kind of goes to the way you're going to lean one way or the other. And if you're getting the truth from somebody who knows what they're talking about, that's one thing. But if you're getting what they call the truth and they do not know what they're talking about, you're missing something. Should be careful about what individual talks about a particular subject. That's including me. About a particular subject. What do they know about it? And also the character of that person. And today I want to talk about mainly the issue of abortion. Not so much the right and wrong or the law and what is not law, but basically abortion. Not what it is. We know what it is. But the philosophy that has filled the air about this thing that's called abortion. Now, when I said you need to understand that the character of the person that's telling you anything should be important to you. I heard Lindsey Graham a few days ago in an interview talking about abortion. And of course, he's totally against abortion. He really gave no good reason why he would be for abortion or wouldn't be for abortion. He just kind of, forgive the vernacular, him-hawed around the subject. But even if he had said some things that seemed to be intellectual, I would have a hard time believing anything that Lindsey Graham says. Number one, he's an established liar. He's a coward. And you only know where he stands in the minute. I really believe that if it would benefit him politically, or at least 10, 15 years ago, he could have been just as much pro-choice as he is pro-life today. That's the kind of individual we're talking about. Why do I say that? If you can find go online or however you find the facts to things you've heard, see what he said about Joe Biden before he started trembling before Donald Trump. He could not say enough good about Joe Biden. He even said that if you can't vote for Joe Biden, essentially he was saying there's something wrong with you. You're not going to find anybody because he's such a good guy. But then when he started quaking in his boots at the very mention of Donald John Trump, it was a whole different story. Biden was no good. Biden couldn't do anything right. Biden was wrong about everything. Now, I'm talking about abortion today, and I'm getting around to hopefully to some meat of the matter. But that's what I was talking about. You need to understand the character of people. And I'm interested in nothing that Lindsey Graham has to say about abortion, and for that matter, any other subject. He is a liar, and he's certainly a coward. And he'll change his position on a dime. On the other hand, if you look at what he said about Trump, before he started crapping in his pants out of fear of Trump, whole different what he says about Trump today. Trump couldn't do anything right. He was the worst thing in the world for this country. And anybody that would take him as their candidate and support him, there's something wrong with you. But now, it's the other way around. I guess Trump made this great turnaround, or found God or something. I don't know. In Lindsey Graham's mind. But like I said, character and what they know. But I could not take anything that Lindsey Graham, and there's many out there that's trying to speak to this issue, do not know what they're talking about. They're basing it all from things they've heard in church, in their religion, things they've heard from the government, not the Constitution. Not that was written for us Americans, for which we're supposed to be living, by which we're supposed to be living. Someone told me the other day that we really don't have a choice in this election. Biden can't get around, do anything, he stumbles here. And if you watch Fox News, that's the idea you would get. That's all he ever does. And if all you watch is Fox, then you're not getting all the news. And in my opinion, you're not getting much of any kind of news, real news. You have to watch them all together. Like I've told you many times, I watch Fox. It does me in sometimes, but I watch Fox religiously. And I watch all the others. I read things to find out what an individual said for myself, not what somebody else told me they said. But if you think you do not have a choice, and there's a lot of you out there that thinking that, then we are in some serious trouble. And I said to myself, really? That's the way you can think? With all you've seen and heard, you think we have no choice? If that's the case, you're thinking only in terms of this election as a Biden-Trump contest. But this time, it is really, really, really much more. The question being asked of us is, do we want our democracy or do we not? Trust me, I'm going to get to the abortion thing. A saying of long ago, and I do not know its origin. I tried to find out, but unsuccessfully. The saying goes, if you bury your head in the sand, then you should worry about your tail. The idea of burying one's head in the sand is implying that one knows what is going on and that it is wrong, but let's just pretend all is right, pretending to be ignorant on one end. But you have to remember, destruction does not care which end it destroys first. So do we want a democracy? That's kind of the choice that I see. There's only one man where we're going to get that. I'm not just saying that because I'm for Joe Biden. Everything that Donald Trump has said and things that he has done and I keep going back to the debate where he didn't tell one truth the whole time. He gaslighted the whole way through. Biden lost the debate, as I said, but Trump certainly didn't win it. So again, I ask, do we want a democracy? We have a choice. But the question is, will you make the choice, or will you let someone else make it? So if we use this scenario in action as synonymous with no choice, and that person I mentioned is right, if we don't vote, we may lose our democracy. If we vote for Trump, we're going to lose our democracy. If we vote for Biden, it's a vote against Donald John Trump. As I said in another podcast, you can believe Fox News or you can believe your lying eyes. And it's high time you started believing your lying eyes. And your ears too. Listen. As the teachers used to tell us, read between the lines. You got to do a lot of that. And even much, much more. Look, talking about the abortion. Abortion is a very serious issue. I understand that. But it's not a right. Nobody has a right to an abortion. Oh, I'm going to get some backsass on that. But let me get through. It's not a right. It has nothing to do with faith. There's nothing in the Bible, your Bible, for or against. And you know what? It is none of my business unless my wife would have made it so in trying to decide whether to get an abortion or not. Otherwise, it's none of my business. Every man should keep his damn mouth shut about this. Get it out of politics. Get it out of the gone astray church. We don't give it to the states. We don't give it to the Supreme Courts. We don't give it to Congress. We have no right, morally or legally, to give it at all. It's not ours to give. It belongs, and let me repeat, it belongs to women, and women alone, unless said woman makes him a party to the decision. And let me repeat, women, it's their choice. They live with it, good or bad. But again, damn it, it is their choice. And it's just that simple. I don't care what some long-winded preacher tells you. He's preaching from nonsense if he says anything different. Or what some government official who decided he's going to be a state representative or a U.S. representative or a senator, and all of a sudden, because he got elected to that office, now he's a theologian. It is absolutely ridiculous what they have done to women in regard to this thing called abortion. It's nobody's right to do anything with. It's a thing. And yes, it's a serious issue. And yes, there are questions that need to be answered of when and how it's done. But it is something that belongs to women. And men, you pompous ass men who are afraid of women, smart women, you need to keep your mouth shut. You're like Lindsey Graham. Your character just will not sustain what you're trying to tell us. So let me repeat. Women, their choice. They live with it, good or bad. But again, it is their choice. The Bible says no different. The Constitution says no different. It did in its original state. But some man decided we better do something about that. You see where I'm going? So who is Lindsey Graham or any of the others who know nothing about the issue to even speak to the matter? He, along with others, just simply need to shut up about issues that are none of their business. And this is one of them. It's absolutely none of their business. None of their business. Political groups and the Supreme Court, which is a laughable group at best, at our bequest, have overridden, if you will, the Bible you all cherish so much and the Constitution. They did all of that. And I don't hear a lot of uproar about it. And we should. Remember, when you have your head buried in the sand, you have to worry about your ass. Source unknown. Or keep your head buried in the sand and something or someone will bite you in that ass. Again, we do not have a choice. Really? You better realize very, very soon we do indeed, and we better exercise it. Because like I said in an earlier podcast, this election could be the next election, or it could be the last election. It's also going to be an election that's going to decide a lot of things about the woman in your life. Whether that woman be your wife, your daughter, your granddaughter. You tell me, do you want Lindsey Graham deciding what's best for your granddaughter or your daughter? Stupid? Maybe. But it's just that simple. I'll say goodbye at this point. I'll be doing another podcast in another day or two because of things that have just come up in the news and around the world. But be looking for a podcast, and I hope you'll give me a thumbs up. Let me know you like it. Subscribe to my podcast. I need that. We all need that. Tennessee Brando and Texas Paul, we all need that kind of thing. We need to get, the more you subscribe, the more we get this word out. And I think everybody's entitled to hear all sides. If you're going to hear Fox, you better listen to somebody else at the same time. So until the next roundup, be looking for my book on Amazon, The Offspring of Ignorance. Hope you'll buy it. God bless you all.